Alright, so we're gonna do the knee next. So same thing again, we can go ahead and create a circle. Let's scale this down, and then let's rotate this as such, and then we can go ahead and snap this guy to right here in the center where the joint is. Right, scale, and then we'll move it out. Right, just want to make sure that it's in position. Delete the history, center to pivot, freeze transform. And same thing like how we did for the foot control. I'm gonna press and hold D, and then press and hold X, snap it to the center over there, Control D to duplicate it, and then change the X to -1. So we have both of them at the same side. And then we're gonna delete the history, center pivot, freeze transform, those same things again. Right, now these two guys gonna control the knee, so let's just go and rename it in the outliner. So let me just delete, this is some extra stuff I have over here. Let's go to the knee and call this left knee control, and this guy will be the right knee control. Right, simple enough. So next thing is that we're gonna ask Maya to get this guy to control the knee, so when we move it this way, the knee is gonna follow as such. So we're gonna select the knee control first, shift select the IK handle, and then we're gonna go ahead to go to constrain pole vector. Right, you can see that there's a bit of a movement there, is okay. So when I select the controller for the knee, as you can see, the knee moves along. Right, so that's how we can do a bit of a twisting of the knee. So let's do the same thing again for the other knee, or we can do this whole thing again after we're done with the IK handle. We haven't do the IK handle yet, right? So the idea is that we can use this guy and then push it up, and then for example the knee can kind of do that twist over there. Now the problem we have now is that when I push this guy up, he doesn't follow. By right, he needs to go up as well. So in order to fix that, we just have to tell Maya that, hey, this controller is gonna follow this guy, so he's gonna control everything that's gonna happen right below here. So he's gonna be the boss for all the area that is right over here, which is the left leg. Right, so that controls the rotation of the ankle, the movement of the foot, and the movement of the knee. Right, so this guy is gonna be the big boss just for over here. Right, so what we're gonna do is over here on the outliner we have the left knee control. I'm just gonna middle mouse button and put it inside, so make sure that it's inside, not like this, inside the left foot control. Right, so when I select the left foot control, as you can see, the knee control is selected as well. Move it up, go ahead, kick it out like that. Right, you can like do a Jackie Chan move or whatever, and then we can go over here, and then you can still do a bit of a knee twist. Right, well, of course his knee is right now straight up, so that's not really a change when you do a knee twist, when you stretch out your leg. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to select the hip area, use our IK handle, select the hip area, and then select the ankle. So that is going to be the IK handle for the right hand side. Let's just go to our outliner here and name this to right IK. Alright, so next thing is we're going to select the controller, shift select our IK handle, go to constraint, and then we're going to go to parent. Right, and then same thing again, we're going to select the controller, shift select our joint over here, go ahead, go on to constraint, and then this time we're gonna go to orient. Alright, so you can test this out. So we can go ahead and test this out. Can move it out, push it up, can do a rotation, and then can do a super kick like that. Alright, so this part is done. Now remember, again, we need to change this back to 0, do it one by one. Right, sometimes you get a bit of a buggy issue where again this thing kind of like move out even though everything is zeroed out. So just push it back a bit in place and then just change this back to 0. kind of to tweak it just a bit to make sure it moves properly back to where it's supposed to be. Just push it up a bit and change this back to 0 as well. Right, so it's more or less back in the position where it's supposed to be. Last thing is you have to do the knee control. So again, what we're going to do is select the knee controller, shift select our IK handle, and then we're going to go to constrain, and we're going to go and select pole vector. We'll just shift it just a bit, and then you can see it can twist the knee and such. So now you see that the both joints are back in place because one of them had the knee control, the other one didn't have it. So there's a slight change over there, so it's okay. Now everyone is more or less in the perfect place, and both of this guy has knee control. Just forgot to do one more thing, which is to bring this knee controller, right knee controller, inside the right foot, so that both of them will be controlled by their individual foot controller. So you can do like it's jumping like that, you know, or you can both of them rotate and then kind of like do a jump kick or double kick or whatever it is, something like that. Then he does pow, kick someone like that. Alright, so again, let's go and change this back to 0. And we have to do it one by one. Right, so it's more or less back in the position again. Some of this thing kind of like pops out of place and stuff like that, especially this guy over here. Just push it out a bit, change it back to 0. Okay, just move this guy just in case. Alright, so yeah, back to where it's supposed to be. Maybe I just push this guy out a bit and then bring it back to 0. Okay, so more or less we got this thing done. Let's move on to the orientation for the body next. Alright, so moving along, we've done with the legs. Alright, let me just get out my grid out of the way. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start to do maybe a hip controller. I'm gonna start over here. I'm gonna leave the belly alone for now. So later on I can do like an inference object over here. So let's go ahead and create a circle. Maybe I just put this in my shelf since I use this quite a bit. So I have my circle over here. I'll just gonna scale it down. I'll change this section to about 16, and then I will snap this to this joint over here. So it's going to control around the hip area. Like I say, he has a very big belly, probably at a horse for lunch. That's why he has a very big belly. Alright, so let's go to the control vertex, and I'm going to select every alternate control vertex that we have over here. So let's make sure that we select this with a bit more care. Right, and I'm gonna squeeze this in, right, so it gets like this star shape over here, right? And then this one here, we're gonna go to the outliner and we're gonna change this to call the hip CTRL control, right? And now we're going to freeze the transformation, center pivot, and delete the history. Right, so you gotta make sure that all of your controllers, including all of this one, that before we do any orientation to them, or any constraint to them, you need to freeze the transformation, center the pivot, and delete the history. So we select our controller, and then we select our joint, which is this joint over here, and then we're gonna go on to constrain, and then we're gonna go to orient because that controls the rotation, and we're gonna say constrain to all axes and apply. Right, so as you can see that this joint over here has blue for all of its rotation. Now when we actually select the controller, we can do, he's doing like a morning exercise or something like that, or when he's very polite and he bows down, or he's doing like, Matrix, from like how Neo did it, and he's like dodging a bullet, go whoa, right? So he can go and do these kind of things with this controller. Now we're gonna add one more controller for perhaps this side of the body over here. Alright, and then we're gonna go on to create the shoulder controller, elbow, so on and so forth. Right, so same thing again, I'm gonna create a circle, scale this down. So maybe this time I just leave it somewhat like a circle. Maybe I'll make it just a bit wider like that. And I'm gonna snap this to this joint over here. Do these three things: freeze the transformation, center pivot, delete history, and I'll call this upper body control. Select the upper body control, shift select the joint over here, constrain, orient. Right, so same thing again, this guy can do this kind of twist with his upper body, and what we can do is we can select this guy, the upper body, and put it inside the hip control. So when he actually rotates this way, and then he can continue to take the upper body and just bow down even lower. Alright, so these are some of the controls that we have. Next thing is we're gonna do the control for this guy over here, here, and here. Same thing again, I'm gonna create a circle. Let's rotate this 90 degrees, and then scale him down. I'm gonna snap this to this guy over here, scale it a bit more, and perhaps I'll just use this kind of, I'll make it a bit wider instead, so it's easier to understand that this is a shoulder control. Freeze transform, center pivot, delete the history. So I'm gonna call this shoulder, CTRL. Now we're not gonna do the orient first, let's just duplicate this guy and then snap it to the elbow. Okay, maybe I'll just adjust this just a bit, so this will be like an elbow control, and then I'm gonna duplicate this and snap this to the wrist. Right, so let's freeze to transform, center pivot, those kind of things for all of these controllers. And we can rename this as such. So this shoulder control, we should call this right shoulder control. It should be right elbow control. Let's change this to a small s instead. And this is a right wrist control. Right, so you can do the same for all of these fingers over here, but because this is just a very basic rig, so I'm not going to focus on that. Now we can actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them together for now, and when I group them, the pivot is right here in the center. It's not the center of this pivot, but center of the world pivot over here, so that I can control D to duplicate and change the scale X to -1. So that will change for the other side. So here I can select my original group, and we can ungroup them, and then we can ungroup this guy as well. So just want to make sure that all of these three over here, right, again, center pivot, freeze transform, those kind of things. Okay, so we can finally do the constraint for the controller to the joint. So select the joint, select the controller, select the joint, and then we're gonna go and orient this guy. So when we select this guy, now it moves as such, right? The same thing here, controller, joint, so constrain, orient, right? Controller, joint, constrain, orient. Okay, so Same like how we do the leg, he will be the boss for everyone down the road for the left hand over here. So, and he will be the boss for this guy. Alright, so this guy, he doesn't have a boss, so the wrist will listen to the elbow will listen to the shoulder. Right? So for example, you want to make him do a walk, you know, so he will have his hands up and he will swing it. So that's how we're gonna animate it later. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. Make sure all of this is inside the correct path. Right, so we're gonna do the same for this guy. So instead of right shoulder, this would be left shoulder CTRL for control, left elbow CTRL, left wrist CTRL. Right, so same thing again. Make sure that all of them has their freeze, transform, center, pivot, delete history. Left shoulder, so select the controller, select join, constrain orient. Right, controller, join, orient, controller, join, orient. Okay, left wrist will follow the left elbow follows the left shoulder. Right, same thing again, we can do the same for this hand. Then like if he wants to have a handshake, so you can put up his hand over here and then he will just animate, just, yeah, how are you doing, very good. Right, something like that. Okay, so this part is done, this part is done. The next part is we're going to start to do a controller for the neck, the head, jaws, and then after that we can start to think about how we can have a master controller for everything. Think about how we should parent some of these guys over here, and then we can do the more fun part with inverted commas, the skin weights. Alright, so let's get to it.